Hello everyone, welcome back to the Crypto Geo channel. I hope you've been enjoying this lovely Sunday afternoon as Bitcoin's pumping yet another 5% against all odds. The first thing I want to mention is that right now the weekly candle is up over 27%, and this will be one of the largest weekly candles in like quite some time. The last time we were close, there was a 25% pump, 26% pump in December of 20. Other than that, we've got 26.8% in April of 19. Before that, there's a 29 in February of 18, and then we've got some 30% in the run-up of 2017. But this is just like remarkable that Bitcoin is doing this amidst all the Fed rate hikes. Banks are going bankrupt. Exchanges are robbing people of billions of dollars, and Bitcoin does not give a single shit. Didn't stop it from rallying how much? In less than 2 weeks, from the bottom of this wick, up 45%. And yeah, if you were listening and you bought spot here, you're up almost 50%, and we're approaching one of the major targets to start selling. So that's honestly what I'll be doing this week. I know everyone has euphoria. We think we're going to the moon. But honestly, in a couple percent, I'm probably going to sell some like right here. I'm planning to offload about 20 to 25% of the spot Bitcoin that I'm holding between these levels. I do that just for dry powder. Like, nothing goes up in a straight line forever. There's always going to be some kind of like pullbacks. If we do end up going into a bull, all the better if I can load back up at 25. Otherwise, I bought a bunch of Bitcoin around 16-17%. Let's just average it around there. I'm not going to complain about taking profits on an 80% move, even if you go up another 600%, whatever. I don't care. Profit is profit. Yeah. All right, so let's go in a little bit. I'm going to focus mostly on Bitcoin today just because it's been like leading the show. This has been one of my most like insanely accurate trades ever. Like I was saying I would go long at the $24,000 level. The low from this daily candle is 23,932. Like, yeah, you had a $60 drawdown if you just put an alert or just like automatically placed a trade and waited for it to fill at some later point in time. And then we just went like straight up pretty much. Like I mentioned, I told you 29,000 would be just like a magnet, and took 3 daily candles, one just slightly negative. We lost less than 2%. We're just reaching it right there. Honestly, this isn't a bad time to close it. Just because if we look back at the weekly, there's going to be a lot. I think we go sideways or maybe even come back down. I can't see us just breaking out of this. Like, there'd have to be something insane happening. There's just so much like resistance around this area. It wouldn't make sense for us to just go straight through it. I mean, all the better if we do, but I'm going to take profits, potentially look for like shorts to maybe come back down to the $25,000 level. But I mean, I'm not shorting this. Like, you'd be out of your mind, or just like love to try to catch falling knives to short like a pump like this. Not something I would recommend. Let's look at the rest of the market just to get an idea where things are going. It's going to be really brief. Dollar index continuing to drop. We didn't hold like any of these levels over here. So my first target, I'm expecting it to reach about the $103 level. If we break through that around the 101, maybe even test this wick all the way down here. We'll see. That's going to take some time. The dollar index doesn't move all that fast. S&P, this is the most volume we've had on a weekly candle in the S&P literally since the COVID dip, and then we dropped like crazy then. This actually, if we actually look on the daily, we had a bunch of volume amidst all like the banking and then the Fed saying that maybe they're not going to raise interest rates as much as they had initially planned. Like early last week, they were aiming for about half a percent. Now the estimates are closer to 25%, maybe even 25 basis points, maybe even 0 depending on what happens. They're still going to aggressively try to keep inflation under control that they caused. Yeah, the people that caused the problem are somehow going to create the solution. But yeah, a lot of what drove that high volume was the dump on Friday, just because Credit Suisse, I don't know how to pronounce things. yeah, there's rumors about them being insolvent and all this like banking crisis shit, and then everything else is gonna go to shit. So we could very well see things dump if the banking sector goes to absolute hell. Um, how that's gonna affect Bitcoin could really go either way, because it seemed that people were bullish on Bitcoin when banks are going down. But I mean, if you get a lot of big banks going, that just can't be good. I don't know. We'll see though. Nasdaq, same idea. A lot of volume, tending more upwards. People seem to be more bullish on this. Rallying up. We'll see if we get rejected from the $12,860 level. You will see Dow Jones. This is like the most boomer of all the stocks. It's like the only one I don't hold. I hold like Nasdaq and the S&P. I don't want to hold the Dow Jones. Screw the industry. Granted, it's been down the least out of all the other indexes. But yeah, it's like exactly on this downward sloping resistance. This could really go either way. I don't know. Let's just see. I don't even trade this. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all. But I want to say anything on the 4-hour level. Yeah, I mean, we're just going straight up. It doesn't even matter. Like, even on the weekend, I thought like maybe we'd go a bit sideways. I did not expect a 5% pump on a Sunday. Let's look at 1 week. Oh, Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, it touched the support level I outlined a couple weeks ago. I mean, it just went straight up like crazy. This is another thing that's indicating to me that maybe it's time to start taking profits on Bitcoin, potentially just keeping money either in like stable coins or cash. I don't really see altcoins going too ballistic in the near term, but yeah, this is going to be some strong resistance. People will start to scale out of Bitcoin either into alts or just into stable coins. So we'll see. ETH BTC, yeah, we're dipping down. We're going to close underneath it. So while we've never closed below this line, we have wicked, and this is not like super convincing. If we look at it from here, we're down. That's pretty considerable. 5.5%, 6%. I don't think we really go down too far. The lowest, I mean, I'd first initially target about 0.06 before going to 0.053. But this is just more of an indicator for me as to whether I should be more in Bitcoin or more in ETH. And right now I have like little ETH exposure. Most of my money's in Bitcoin, so I'm not going to convert my ETH to Bitcoin just yet. If you do have a considerable amount of ETH relative to Bitcoin, maybe it's a good time to switch some over, because this could very well dump a decent amount. You want to save a couple percentages. Actually, that's not a couple percent. 60%, yeah. I like Bitcoin more anyway, so I'm going to hold more Bitcoin in any case. ETH is breaking out, but this is a very high, like a very strong resistance coming up, like not too far out, like around 1930 to 2150, even like 24. We do need a couple catalysts for this to really start to pump. Like if Bitcoin just starts mooning, I mean, ETH will follow. I do think Bitcoin will outperform, but we could see ETH come up to a $24,000 level before coming back down, because I feel like I mentioned this every video. I don't think we're going bull straight yet. I think this is just another bear rally before we dip back down, but I don't think we reach the previous lows again. My targets, so in terms of trades that I'm gonna be looking at now, I'm just sitting on my hands. Like no trades for at least the beginning of the week. We've pumped too much. I'm not going to be looking for longs here, especially with all this resistance, and also with such a heavy pump, I'm not going to be looking for shorts, just because like you could go for a very low leverage if you want to hold this out for like months, but nothing like short term like that. What I want to wait for is the Fed meeting on Wednesday, because they'll announce the next rate hike, and the volatility on the predictions for the rate hikes are like extremely high right now. They've been switching back and forth a lot the past week. I remember for a while they were thinking it's going to be 0.25. It got up to 0.5 once the inflation numbers came out a week or two ago, and now it's coming back down as banks are failing. So we'll see what happens. Right now, best thing to do, I'm just going to be selling some Bitcoin, waiting, seeing what happens, and then probably updating in the middle of next week with ideas for new trades based on what happens. All right, so that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.